Hey guys, my name is Andrew. Welcome to another video on my channel. And this video, I guess, is part of my NextJs13 series, a tutorial series which I'm making, teaching NextJs13 so that you can adopt NextJs13 with more ease and less difficulty, right? Especially if you're coming from a NextJs12 background, it can be a pain, right? In this series, this is the third video, and in this video, we basically want to explore the structure of our Next.js13 app. Two videos before this, we installed the Next.js13 application. So you want to check the description of this video. You get to find the link to the complete series. You go explore, check out the complete series, and then you get to see all the videos in the series that we have so far. This is the app we installed. Sorry, this is the app we installed, right? I call it app main. So this is basically the structure of a Next.js13 application. Not much things to talk about here if you already understand React, which I believe you do. So there's not so much here that I guess I should talk about. We we opted to use Tailwind CSS for styling. You get to see this option during the installation. So we opted and said yes, and then Tailwind CSS was configured along for us. Right. So basically, this is just what the app looks like. You get this public folder which contains some assets. You can add your images here if you wish, and then I don't recommend that though. I recommend you get an assets folder inside of your app directory and keep your images and other assets there, right? So you can add images here if you wish, just like we have some SVG already. You can okay, that's about the public directory. We have ESLint. We opted to use ESLint as well for linting our project to help us detect some error and bad practices. Then git ignore. All of this comes pre-installed with Next.js13. And then we have the package.json, which is one of the most important packages inside of our app. We have Tailwind config, post CSS coming along with the Tailwind CSS installation. So this is basically what you have inside of the Next.js13 application. We have node modules, of course, keeping our dependencies and dev dependencies. And then this next folder, the next folder is an important directory. You don't want to play around with this directory. It's important. You don't want to really fiddle with it. I'm going to talk more on it. I'm going to show you guys how to make the best use of that directory as we proceed in the series. And then the most important part of the Next.js13 application is the app folder, the app directory, right? Next.js12, we had the pages directory, but coming to Next.js13, we have the app directory. So this is the app directory. And then inside, we have the fav icon, we have a global styling file, which is basically our Tailwind CSS entry point. We have a layout file and then a pages file, right? So this is basically what you have in the Next.js13 application. Now let's talk a little about the pages, the page.js file and then the layout.js file. All right, so basically the layout.js file is more like the entry point of our app, right? Please take note of that. The layout file is the entry point of your app. So even when you create other pages using the new routing pattern in Next.js13, even when you create other pages, take note that the layout file will always be the entry point of whichever page you create. So when you create the page, which happens to be a directory, that's how we create pages in Next.js13. Let's call it post, right? Let's call it post. So when you create the posts folder, you're going to have you're going to have a page.js file. Don't worry, we're having some errors. I'm going to address this error shortly. So the page.js file is going to be the entry point of your post page. This is basically the post page itself, right? You can't have a folder as a page. So this is just how routing works in SJS13. You create a folder, and then inside of that folder, the page.js file is that page is the entry point of that page, right? But then the moment you want a layout, probably you want to have a layout for the components inside of this page, and you create a layout.js file, right? The moment you create this layout.js file, the layout.js file becomes the entry point, no longer the pages. So before you create the layout file, the it's not pages, my bad, it's page, right? It's a reserved keyword. So if you miss it, you're going to have your app broken, right? It's page, not pages. So for every page you create which uses folders in NextJs13. I'm going to explain this more in subsequent videos, but I'm just trying to address the concept of the layout and the page in this video, right? So the layout is the entry point of our app. I've talked about that. The layout on the root, and then the page is basically the home page, right? So when you now create another page with to I mean, while improving your project, while building, you create another page using the routing pattern which goes by directories. So you create the post page. The entry point of the post page is called page.js. So this is going to be your entry point before you create the layout. So the moment you create a layout file inside of any page directory, the layout file becomes the entry point, just like it is at the root of our project. I'm going to talk more on the reserved pages and their names, right? We have page, which is the basically the index, the entry point. We have layout for creating layout. We have loading. We have error. So I mean, there are some amazing reserved pages and their names in Next.js 13. In another video, we're going to talk about routing and those page names, but basically I've did a routing intro here already. So guys, I want to address this error. I do get this error when I install Next.js applications. I don't know if it's unique. I've seen the error do on I guess I've seen it on Stack Overflow. So if you install a Next.js application and you get this error, basically add a VS Code folder into your project. It's called .vs code. I'm going to show you guys in a bit. So you basically add that folder to your project, and inside of that folder you have your settings.json file. And inside of your settings.json file, you basically declare your working directories. This error is going to go silent. So let's go implement that. This I have it in the previous project. Let's just copy out the folder, right? As you can see, it's named .vs code. So we copy out the folder and then we just basically paste it here. So inside of the folder, you have your settings.json file, and inside of the settings, just basically create it, name the folder .vs code, create a settings.json file, and then inside of the settings.json file, you basically just add the directory of your the name of your Next.js directory inside of here, and then you're going to see the error is going to go silent. So let's do it. Let's remove this. We don't have a server directory here, so we call it the name of our directory is app_main. So just immediately having this, we're going to see our error is going to go silent in just a bit. So let's open this. Let's go and see if the error is still there. All right, guys. So as you can see, the errors are gone. There was some delay though, I guess, because my system is laggy, right? So once you just add the VS Code directory, and inside of it you add your settings.json's settings your sorry, inside of it you add your settings.json file, and then you declare your ESLint working directories, adding the name of your app folder. The errors go silent. So that will be it for this video, guys. We've explored the structure of a NextJs13 application, and I believe just like I introduced the routing pattern, I guess you can't wait to explore more of NextJs13. So in subsequent videos, we're going to be building, we're going to be writing code, I'm going to be explaining concepts. We're even going to have a live project where you can test. We're going to have it deployed and you can explore all of these things for yourself. So guys, that'll be it for this video. See you guys in the next video. Bye bye. Love you guys.